With us being close to the end of our journey, I figured now would be a good time to do this. Of course, at this point, we've had a good idea of what Buddy's combat is like, so I'm not going to bother with that, like how I ignored it with Rando. The main reason I am doing this is, like Rando, I wanted this opportunity to recap what has happened with Buddy up to this point, for all of you watching. However, the main difference with this recap is that it is also meant to highlight and try to understand Buddy's point of view throughout the story. Why? Well, beyond the fact that Buddy is our current protagonist, there have been a lot of criticisms about Buddy over the years, ever since Joyful released, and I feel like some of them are valid and others aren't so much. If you want my take on it, I think some of the takes on Buddy are too harsh. Before we start with this recap about Buddy, let me ask you the following question. Who is the guy we play as in Painful? That's right, it's Brad Armstrong. That's the wrong slot. If you recalled, we followed Brad throughout all of Painful, and have an outside perspective of everything he's been up to from his early life up to his very end. But seeing everything through Brad's lens does one thing for many first-time players. They want Brad to win. How they want Brad to win can vary from person to person. Some may just want him to get Buddy back, this no matter what, while other astute players may just want him to find some sort of peace and closure. Regardless, with this desire to have him win, or hell, find some sort of peace, some players may end up overlooking how some of the other characters feel and think. And I cannot blame them, since our view into the story is very limited. We are stuck to only seeing what Brad is up to for the majority of the game. Everything else that happens from other characters is always off-screen. Because of these limitations of what we see, Buddy ended up being quite a divisive conversation, with a lot of players, myself included, being confused about why Buddy hates Brad so much and why she gives him a hard time. It also doesn't help that all the punches, fireballs, drop kicks, and head slides Brad spammed throughout Painful can easily distract a lot of people from the bigger picture. Why think so much about the story when we have Brad here being so cool, right? This is why we'll be going over the scenes in Painful that involve Buddy, mostly with the purpose of considering her point of view, as well as important details we, the audience, also can glean or know from the Painful. I could easily stretch this into a video of its own, but I am keeping this short for our sake, or at least as short as I can make it. We start with Buddy being abandoned out in Olathe, before being adopted by Brad Armstrong, and being dropped in like 20 seconds. It is practically spelled out to us that Brad sees Buddy here as a second chance. His exact words. So already his reasons for raising Buddy are pretty selfish, even though I do believe that he does care for Buddy beyond that personal reason of his. Also, since I've been giving Brad a hard-ass time throughout all of this series, I want to state this here. I do not think Brad is evil. I think he is just heavily flawed. There are a lot of reasons why he acts the way that he does. And I'm not trying to claim that he's evil or that he's he's the worst person in the whole game. Because obviously there's worse. But that doesn't mean Brad doesn't make his own mistakes and problems. Even after she's grown up some and is curious about the world, Buddy is practically shackled to the house, as Brad does not want her to leave the house at all. Of course, if she were to just wander off, that'd be horrible, especially in this wasteland. But we only ever see Brad take her outside once in an extended cutscene. Not to mention he is practically drowning himself with alcohol and joy. He attempts to quit, of course, but he does eventually relapse, so it's hard to say if he managed to quit it for long before we get control of him. And I doubt I have to explain why having an addict for a dad is not great for growth. Buddy is then kidnapped by Rando's army, potentially killing someone with this knife here, considering her training in Joyful. Ironically enough, being taken by this army has probably led her to seeing some more of the world when she was being transported, compared to Brad's suffocating method of parenting. Though, of course, this also has the downside of her being stuck in another cave. Speaking of, face to face with Brad again after a good long while. Brad comes in and attempts to take Buddy with him and have everything go back to normal. You know what go back to normal means for Buddy in this scenario? Going back to Plato's fucking cave with nothing but crayons and lipstick. So she tries to understandably refuse going back initially, with her having a new life, as well as being told she can save the world by Rick and Sticky. Which, yes, I know, it is ridiculous and impossible for one woman to repopulate humanity. You could probably argue some of these men are just desperately trying to cling to some kind of hope for the fucked world that is Olathe. But honestly, at this point, I believe it was just Rando's army manipulating Buddy into staying. While I do agree with Brad that Buddy being with these people is likely to lead to something bad happening, especially considering Rando's mismanagement of his own army, having Buddy just return back to that cave on a hill isn't exactly fulfilling for a growing child either. This is Brad's biggest flaw. He needs to find a compromise, and he never thinks of one. Near the end of the conversation, Buddy also says she was shown something from Sticky's conversation, and Brad immediately assumes the worst and starts yelling at her before forcibly trying to take her with him. Yes, I know the way she explained it here was not the greatest, but she's still just a child, and probably just didn't realize how it sounded when she was speaking at the time. Nor did she probably realize how horrendous that would be if it was actually the way he thought it was. And then, boom, Buzzo encounter. These men show up, hating Brad, and pipe to her head. Jesus Christ. After the next Buzzo encounter, when she manages to escape from him, and probably had a fucking nipple cut off, depending on your choice, Buddy manages to escape to a deserted island with a nice old man. Just for Brad to storm in, kick her across the room, try to kill Marty almost immediately, and then gets her ass kicked some more by Brad when trying to protect Marty. And yes, I know, Marty Armstrong is one of, if not the most evil man of the entire series. But we have to remember, we know that. Buddy didn't. Brad didn't explain anything about Marty. All Buddy saw was Brad storming in and trying to kill someone out of cold blood. Or hell, trying to kill his own father out of cold blood. Even going as far as to attack her when trying to stop him. And yes, I know he tries to explain himself after the fact at one point, just for Buddy to shut him up. But, like, he still assaulted Buddy. He still probably, like, punched, kicked, fucking fireball. There's no talking your way out of that one. There just isn't. And with another escape, Brad keeps trying to say he wants to keep her safe, when he just did all of that. Brad did in fact hurt her the most, not just emotionally or psychologically, but also physically as well. And then he slaughters an entire fucking army, tries to act like a father figure last minute despite everything, then dies. Well, kinda. Just to make sure it is said, I do not think Buddy herself is perfect either. She's still a child, and kids are going to be pretty stupid if they aren't taught properly. And I won't lie, she does unfortunately suffer from some stilted writing in the Joyful considering how short the DLC is compared to Painful. But I think some of the hate for Buddy that I've seen here and there is a bit much. She's a young girl living in a world full of men that will fight tooth and nail to get her. We've seen plenty of examples with all the NPCs that will attack Buddy if she isn't wearing a mask. That's not even considering the joy she's taken up to this point. I've seen people acknowledge Buddy taking joy in their criticism about her and the Joyful, just to kinda shrug their shoulders and not go much deeper into it. But personally, I think it's important to keep in mind, considering Dingling's original plan was a Joyful, is that you were meant to constantly make use of joy to make fights easier in the DLC. And with all this joy abuse, that could lead to the drug quickly influencing her growing violence. Hell, we've seen it in action with Brad. Even if you abstain from it throughout normal gameplay, he still ends up becoming pretty violent. Well, this would be a neat detail if Joyful wasn't so short, but sometimes it's just the way it goes. Sometimes stories are just gonna be a little rushed. Maybe I could try talking more in depth about this in the future if I was smarter, because there's a lot of layers for why I can see people having problems with Buddy's character that I think is valid beyond my half-baked defense here. While also a certain elephant in the room that is one potential crappy reason for some random person on the internet to hate Buddy. Yeah, that's right, pal. It's your time. Come over here for a moment. Come on. I am not saying that this is the end-all be-all reason for Buddy's hate, but it is something to keep in the back of the brain because, holy shit, this can easily influence a lot of bickering about a lot of other characters in fiction. And the annoyance about this particular point is that nobody will admit they're just being misogynistic. Why would you proudly announce that? But moving on from all that, we have a bit of trivia to cover, and some of this trivia was taken straight from the horse's mouth. Though most of it has been descriptions of Buddy's personality and how she looks. For example, Dingling has revealed that Buddy actually has Northern Asian and Russian ancestry. Dingling also explained that Buddy is a pubescent child, has a messiah complex, is too new to taking joy to be affected by withdrawals, like how Brad was in The Painful, probably has a big nose, and is his least favorite main character. Least favorite main character? God forbid a girl do a little violence as a treat. I would share some more trivia involving Buddy, but a lot of it is spoilers for some loose ends that are not tied, so I would not be able to talk about them until after we tie them up. Either way, this will be the last time in the series I'm doing this sort of analysis thing for, like, party members. And I may as well not beat around the bush here. This was heavily inspired by Chuck Conroy. I hope you all enjoyed these. These were honestly my favorite parts to make for all these videos so far.
Surprise, sunshine. Alright, we finally got the other campfire event that can happen. We have P. Bingle and Tommy Dingle. I know one of these two is a reference to something. I'll probably have it shown on screen because, admittedly, I kept forgetting their names, and so I couldn't really look them up. But yeah, these guys are, from what I remember, just pushovers. Since they're enemies you could just encounter at any time, they just kept them really simple. Oh, I guess that one can actually do a pile driver. I didn't even know that. Oh, great. Oh, great. Gulp? This is what I get for calling them pushovers. Well, alright, so I'm picking out the one on the right. Good to know. I did it. This one. Well, I have not played in a bit, and as you see, it kind of shows. God damn it. I don't remember these guys being able to survive this much attacks. Alright, there we go. Fucking hell. Ugh. God, I hit down on my controller. There we go. Christ. Oh wow, that actually lets us reach level 21. We got Behead. Looks like they also dropped some Malathian whiskies. Well, I guess I'm gonna take another rest off screen. Admittedly, with the summer rolling around, I had some illness not too long ago. I think my hearing is still a little fucked or something. Really weird. But anyway, with all of those distractions out of the way, you know, that analysis I did, and then those two guys we fought, it's time we make our way to the top of that list. It's time we go after Big Lincoln. Oh. What are those two doing up there? Oh shit, I have a lot of mags to play with. I guess I'm putting another cut here. God damn it. Alright. Sorry about that. Well, I basically just stocked up on a shit ton of jerky. We should be good and prepared. It's time to make our way into the wolf's den. Double check, make sure there's no secrets here. So the other caves. Alright, doesn't look like it. If I remember right, on our way through to Big Lincoln's, however, we're gonna have to deal with a bunch of his own personal guard. And the first to make that entrance is Bullet Tom. Since he is the first of the Big Lincoln's guards, he is honestly the easiest to deal with. He has 5k HP, 77 attack, and 2 skills: clip, dump, and reload. He ends up wasting a lot of his time reloading his gun more often than not. And he's actually one of the few fights in the game that you can escape from. He ends up being disappointed if you leave. Yeah, don't be too intimidated by Bullet Tom here. He's not too terribly threatening. As so. Let me roll the dice real quick. As you see, he's spending 2 turns already trying to load his gun. Two, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. So yeah, essentially think of him as like a really weaker version of Lardy. Tough. Not tough enough for Big L. Wow, he even gave us some free horse jerky. How sweet. Does he also just end up being disappointed if I leave this too? I guess all of Big Lincoln's guards could be ran from. Anyway, Clark Cutter here earns his name by having 2 skills. Slice and Big Slice. You can probably tell which one is stronger than the other one out of those 2 names. Thankfully, he only ever starts to use Big Slice once he reaches half health. Worst case scenario, you're probably going to have to heal like once or twice. Clark here is not much stronger than Bullet Tom, though. He only has 8 KHP and 99 attack. But unlike Tom, he doesn't waste any turns. So just deal with him quick. Did that do less damage, or am I going crazy? Nah, whatever. Ooh. Wow, he's still alive. Okay, no. I am going crazy. You're pretty good. But Big L is the strongest. He will always be the top. Well, we'll see about that. Yeah, why not? I have a few extras. A lot of items. I'll be afraid to use a lot of them at this point. Go up the rope. There we go. Up. I'm holding left. I didn't press up. What the fuck? Why am I able to go up to him like this? That's weird. He's a bit nervous. Despite how nervous he is, Grip Ripper actually turns up the heat compared to the other 2. Sporting 10k HP, 77 attack, and a buttload of moves. Do not... Sorry. Do not take him lightly. He is capable of stunning Buddy with Pile Driver, and as a result, he can potentially destroy you without a chance to fight back. He can also give himself Iron Body and Rage, the latter of which is pointless since none of his skills can crit. And he also inflicts Weird with Poison Poke. Despite how nervous he is, he's a pretty competent fighter. It looks like he doesn't really want to fight. Poor guy. It's okay, buddy. I'll make sure to do this quick. Well, so much for making it quick. God damn it. Buddy, please. There you go. Fucking hell. Yeah, I'm not gonna take him too lightly. Roll dice. Wine. Well, actually, that doesn't really affect us too much. I think Buddy literally cannot miss. Hold on, let's test that theory. Doesn't look like it. That, or maybe I just got lucky. just when I started feeling bad for him, he tries to cheese us with paralysis. You freak. Are you even human? Big L will fix this. Well, if you say so. Okay, let's see. Nah, when the hell am I ever gonna use these things? And some of that too. Go. And if I remember right, this is his last guard. Impressive. So young. But it ends here. Did he escape from him? Oh, shit. I don't want to take too much damage, so I'm not going to bother. Well, he's smirking. What? Alright. Our final guard. Poker Heat Johnson has 12k HP and 166 attack. The highest out of any of the other guards we fought up to this point. And how does Johnson make use of that high attack? Constantly shit-talking. He loves to talk trash and get Buddy pissed off while he's slicing and kicking. What the hell is my controller doing? Jesus. He's not immune to any status, nor does he have any resistances, so don't be afraid to use anything to disrupt him. You know, Glimmering Glare, Sleep Bomb. Hell, you could even use Flash. It is a 1v1 at this point. Oh, I clicked that way too fucking... I was mashing. God damn it. You know what, fuck it. I have all these negative T's, let me just use one. Just deal with him as quickly as you did so with the other guys, and you should be fine, honestly. Especially if you land behead after behead, holy shit. How could this happen? It doesn't make sense. You're only just a child. Will you be the first? Can you really beat the best in the world? Well, only one way to find out. Welcome to Big Lincoln's. Get a last minute save before moving on. You also get to see all these graves out here. I forget if there's anything to the right here. Let me double check. Nope. Cliff. Oh boy. Hmm. The Gravedigger, the Lone Wolf, the guy at the top, Big Lincoln is going to prove why he is at the top of the list. Big L here has 3 total phases. All of them together. Oh, dear God. He already used his special move. All of his phases together account for 52k HP. You're gonna be here for a good bit. Looks like he's immune to burning. Weird. But yeah, luckily for us, Big Lincoln has 1 agility. So we will always move first. There's a good reason why he gives us that privilege. If he was faster than us, we'd probably get our ass kicked a lot. In his first phase here, he has the following skills, as you've seen so far. He has a glare to inflict weird, just like a lot of other enemies we fought up to this point. He has Peer, which actually said... Oh, fuck. He has Peer to actually waste a turn or 2. But this skill has the lowest probability of being used. So don't expect Big Lincoln to have too much mercy on you. Oh, perfect. He also has Heaven's Fist, a hard-hitting attack that just hurts. And as you've seen a few times already, he has Graveyard Bomb. I was kind of hoping he would do it there, just to, like, show it off. Oh! Okay. One thing I will admit, they did make this attack kinda not as scary looking in the Definitive Edition. I think in a sec I'm just gonna, like, play a clip of how it's supposed to look normally. But yeah. The biggest threat with Graveyard Bomb here is the fact that it inflicts Wary. So not only is he hitting you with a hard-hitting attack, that attack is going to make later Graveyard Bombs hit even harder. Yeah, manage... You better manage that fucking health. If you keep yourself too low, he could easily just end the fight all of a sudden. Especially if you're playing the original version, where there's none of these Warlord skills. No glare, no second wind, no roll the dice, nothing. Oh, God. I didn't think he'd do 900. Oh, thank goodness. He wasted a turn. That's his Peer. Oh, boy. Ah, yes, here we are. Now we're in our second phase here. As you see, he's hiding in the shadows back there. You know, let me take a look at it too. During his second phase, he swaps out his Graveyard Bomb and Heaven's Fist for some other skills. As you see, he has Howling Geyser, which, if you recall from the Painful, is actually the signature move of Bloodiest Wolf. What the fuck? Why did his sprite get so big there? That was really weird. Thankfully, Howling Geyser doesn't hit as hard as Graveyard Bomb. But it can still do some damage, so you are still going to need to spend some time healing. And during this phase, he gets prey, which, I mean, I guess it does something. He's able to heal himself with it, I guess. Has a chance of missing, and we kind of do more damage than that. But, hey, you know? Yeah, okay, you have fun praying over there, buddy. And now he's back to his third phase. Which means he's gonna start throwing out graveyard bombs again. Overall, do not take Big Lincoln very lightly. He is very dangerous, very bulky, and will take a good while to kill, as he is very, very likely to just keep hitting you with attack after attack. Oh, boy. I don't want to waste too many keys here. When I say waste, when in the end game. Fuck. Will meant to be enough? Let's see. Okay, maybe not. I think I should use a bit of these jerkies. As you can see here, he's not too shy about throwing out that attack either. Unlike most people who have like a signature move that fucks you, he's done this 4 times in a row. I'm sorry, I don't think I've ever seen him do it 4 times in a row. This caught me a little off guard. And just like that, beat Big L. Get no rewards for doing this. If you are struggling to fight Big L, some quick advice I could give. Big Lincoln is not immune to Flustered. So Flash is actually not a bad option to use against him. You could also inflict him with Poison and Sleep with your respective bomb skills. And if you're playing Definitive Edition like me, you can also make use of the other options we've gotten up to this point. Second Wind is just really good. Glimmering Glare will make Heaven's Fist and Howling Geyser during his first 2 phases less likely to hit you. He will still hit you with Graveyard Bomb, though. That is hard-coded to never miss. You can use Pacify to guarantee Big Lincoln stops for a turn, which lets you just set up anything. And Roll the Dice does regenerate some TP. Don't recommend it, but you can do that. And if you're playing the original version of this game, and for some reason you decide not to use Joy up to this point, maybe use it. Technically, you can win this fight without using Joy in the original, but I mean, it's up to you. I won't say it's a requirement. I would just recommend it more than anything. And just like how Lincoln is gigantic, he also has a boatload of trivia associated with him.
With Big Lincoln giving people a strong impression, just like how everyone got one from Satan in Painful, someone asked Dingling who would win in a fight. Dingling responded in probably the best way ever. He called it a trick question and said the pair would never fight each other. How quaint. For those wondering about Big Lincoln's mask, Dingling answered someone who asked why he was wearing a mask by typing out the following. Because it's easier to be true to yourself when no one knows your face, not even you. According to a snippet from the wiki, this answer implies that Big Lincoln has some nonconformist beliefs. Which, considering what we're looking at right now, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It is believed that Lincoln Townsend... Wait, shit, you probably don't know him by that name. Let me correct myself. It is believed that Tiger Man and Big Lincoln are connected. A theory sparked by someone asking how both men have the name Lincoln and also wear animal heads. With Dingling giving this response about it without elaborating, leading to people believing that Tiger Man's potential master could be Big Lincoln. You probably noticed all the graves outside of Big Lincoln's. Every one of them was dug out by Big Lincoln himself, who gave each of them a proper burial. A lot of these are actually corpses of people that have been forgotten and abandoned, and with Big Lincoln carrying this out amongst this apocalypse. A popular theory is that this is the reason Big Lincoln has reached the top of the list. Don't get me wrong, he is still probably the strongest out of everybody, as we've seen, but he's still surprisingly humane. Well, kinda. Corpses you see in his fight chamber are very recent, after all. Must have been some others trying to challenge him, or stepped out of line. With our victory, I'm sure some of you are even thinking to yourselves, okay, how is Buddy defeating this guy? It turns out that during this whole fight you just watched, Big Lincoln was taking it easy on Buddy. The biggest reason Big Lincoln had lost was because he ended up realizing too late. Well, okay, Dingling could have been more specific here, but I believe he meant that Big Lincoln realized too late into the fight that he should have been taking Buddy seriously. You've learned a warlord skill. Wolf Stance. Channel Big Lincoln's strength with a powerful guard skill that also restores TP if you take damage. The closer you are to death, the more TP you'll recover. The list is finished. We finally defeat the strongest warlord of Olathe. And our grand reward, a better guard? Wolf Stance is a better version of guard that offers another method of generating TP if you don't like rolling the dice. It's not the worst skill. Hell, I personally like it myself. But as a reward from the strongest warlord, it is a little underwhelming. If you want to make the most out of Wolf Stance, I advise to have a second wind up in case you misjudge an enemy's strength. Plus, you do get more TP the lower your HP is. So, you know, there's some synergy there, but... fucking, I don't know. When it comes to generating TP at this point, you have 3 total ways to do it really fast. So just do whatever you want at the moment. Just whatever, man. The remaining fights you'll be taking part in at this point are going to be a little long regardless, so it can just be an option to regen TP if you don't want to get fucked by roll the dice, or if you're an extreme hoarder and don't want to use all of those 40 lucrative Ts you have stocked up. Don't worry, I'm also a hoarder. This is a judgment-free zone. But with this last warlord skill we got, we're now the strongest person in Olathe. Buddy is free. Next time on Lisa the Joyful, we deal with an interloper. I'll see you guys then.